Hello and welcome to Walker Tea Review. I'm Jason Walker with a tea to try, taste it out, see if these are the kinds of teas, if this is the quality of tea, the kind of tea that you're looking for. Scooping out enough here. This is a balled or a rolled Taiwanese oolong. I'll talk a little bit more about it, but I want to use a gaiwan like this. It's a 3 ounce. I've covered the bottom inch to inch and a half diameter for my gaiwan here. I'm going to add my water again, as usual, early boil, started to rumble, not a full heavy roll. I would guess this water is going to be around 190, 200 degrees. I go by the sound more than a precise thermometer measurement. So I'm going to cover that, a little bit of water right around the rim of the lid. That's good, kind of keeps the air out. Now, introduce this tea, talk about where it's from. This is from the Yezi tea company. It's a new tea company, newer tea company, I should say. This is their JinXuan. This is originally from Taiwan, or at least this particular sample is. This is their Yezi tea. Again, Yezi tea JinXuan is the name of the variety of tea plant that is used to produce this. You can get 1 ounce for $5.95, so that's just under $6. Yezi tries to build the stories, the background behind the tea, so they will be able to tell you for several of their teas who is the grower. In this case, it's Mr. Chen Gao Xiu. Now, I'm not sure if I got the tones right because it's spelled out in English letters, but that's so Mr. Gao Xiu Chen being his family name or last name, if you turned it around that way, grew this on Alishan Mountain in Taiwan. So I'm going to be looking at the dry leaf, the wet leaf, and the liquor as this steeps a little bit longer. I'm going to breathe on this, get some heat onto that warmer air. When you do that, when you breathe on it, it was light at first and maybe very faintly, very gentle, light floral. When you breathe on it, you get more of the, this JinXuan can be called a milky oolong. It resonates with me more to say that it's kind of a buttery type of smell, say a sweet cream type of butter. There is something, and it moves over even towards a bit of the movie theater, kind of a salty type of butter type of smell going on. And so I'm going to scoop out a little bit of this. Look at these leaves. It appears to be lightly oxidized. You're getting a lot of the brighter, lighter green yellow colors. So and they're bald. I want to say, everyone here and there you still have some of the darker, almost green blue going on, green to olive drab, kind of a darker green, even a little bit. Bald, like I said, or rolled. The size of this looks like it could be more than one leaf. You still see a little bit of stem sometimes rolled within, and so a little bit of the stem is sticking out, which indicates that's the stem that connects, 2 or more leaves together. Fairly tightly compact rolls there too. So they're very kind of, think of a dense paper wad. Maybe a way to look at that. We'll get now into the leaf, and of course you've got a pour to do that. Let me get this out of the way so you can see the pour going on here. Nice, smooth, easy pour. Okay, set that to the side. Talking now about the wet leaf. Let me give that a shake. Some of that buttery note still coming out. That's the most dominant. You do get a bit of I detected some a gentle or a light, kind of a lima bean type of note there. So that was present. But again, still kind of rich, buttery notes coming off as the dominant element here. I want to pull out what you can find here. Noticed a piece of stem. So I thought, this is probably more than one leaf, and so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves there. These upper leaves, which will probably wrap more into the inner part of the roll, the wad there, they have not unfurled completely, meaning that subsequent steeps there will be more to release, more of those loosen up. Another one, 1, 2, 3, and a little bit of a bud there. So I'll put that one on there. Individual, I'm looking to see if there are, there's an occasional individual leaf. And this individual leaf is similar to what I just found in this set, what I see going on with some of these multiple leaf combinations there. You will see a bit of oxidational blotches of red along the edges of the leaf. This is not a very ragged, it's not completely intact, but yet it's not rough handled either. Got some resiliency to it. It's not just ripping right apart. So there's some resiliency in that particular leaf there. So let me stick that so that some of the oxidation blotches, the brown there, can be a little bit more evident. And I'm going to set that to the side. Move on here to the liquor. I'm going to give that a swirl. Nice bright yellow, gold yellow type colors going on. Into the cup, and same, not murky, not cloudy, no oil floating on the top. First sip was relatively bland. I was more difficult to detect. As this tea cools, and what in off-camera tastings, I didn't notice this as well, as it cools, you're able to pick up more of the characteristics. That's often true, or that can be true for many Taiwanese oolongs. Some texture. Texture still lasting. It's kind of a brothy. Off-camera tastings, I had the texture, yes. I also had a bit more astringency as this steeped longer. So you want to be aware of how long you're steeping this one. Aftertaste, this cools. The aftertaste, first off, I was going to say that initially, as this tea was warmer, like I was saying, it was blander. What buttery tastes were there at the beginning, the duration was briefer. As this is cooling, as the temperature is sliding down the scale, it's also meaning that the aftertastes, or the duration of the taste, tends to build. The intensity is fairly consistent. It's not dropping off so much. It's not the most pronounced, but it's picked its level and it's kind of stayed there, which is a positive. If you had to choose between a brief and maybe even excessively intense pop of flavor versus a more mellow, smoother, longer lasting, generally you prefer the longer lasting, more consistent. Yeah. Still same thing. As this tea cools a little bit more nuanced, the buttery has a bit of a bit more of a green bean, lima bean rather, kind of note to it. So it's picking up in complexity. There's a little bit, even maybe a slight tinge of a floral note coming out now. A soft, gentle flower, sweet pea, almost lilac, almost. So looking at this one, it's like I said, it picks its place as this tea cools, as it drops. It picks its place and it stays there. I was able to get several steepings. The product page says you'll be able to get 6 to 7 steepings out of this. You want to be careful of how you steep this. You want to be careful of the temperature at which you drink it. And looking at this tea overall, because it's kind of a little bit higher maintenance, a little bit more effort needed to tease out all those strong, associated the nicer components to it, the pleasanter components to it. I'd have to give this one I'll give this one an 88. Like I said, nice components. Takes a little bit more effort to draw them out compared to some of the other JinXuans I've come across. So, come back to Walker Tea Review to find out which teas are the ones that you want to work with as far as teasing out the best, and which ones more just kind of open up like an open book and unfold for you a little more easily.